Hey everyone, we're at a shoe store here with a lot of shoes, and we have a question that we get from a lot of patients is how to buy the right shoes. So we're not going to address the right brand or what specific brand or what specific shoe is good for you, but we're going to address if what shoe you like is actually the right shoe for you personally. So your store like this, you take a bunch of shoes, you find out what shoes you like, that's the right price, the right form and function, and you try it on, it's the right color, they look pretty for you, and once you find that shoe, this is what you want to do next, and I'm going to show you how to make sure that shoe is actually correct for you. So come on over here, I'll show you this. A couple shoes that we found, listed out for you already. So what I want you to understand is when you buy a shoe, your feet are going to work toward the way the shoe works, not the other way around. If something's just not right, oh, they'll break it in and it'll work right for you. That's not true. Your foot and your ankles will do what the shoe does inherently. So want to make sure that the shoes are manufactured correctly, because they're not manufactured all the same. So when you take a look at a couple of these examples we put, so we'll come up real close here. You'll see this pair of shoes here. When you look at it from behind, you'll see that this is much higher. You have to come down low if you see that. This is much higher built shoe than this shoe. If you could see that, you can see how this is a lot higher up high and this is nice and flat. This will throw you off, especially because this is a running shoe, and we'll show you how in a second. Okay, here's another example. This is two different pairs of shoes of the same model and brand. This shoe, you can see this shoe is actually, the right shoe is tilted outwards if you could look at it. So what's going to do with your foot is going to pull your foot out to the side. Well, here's another shoe of the same brand and the same model, and look how this is built and this is how it's pulled inwards. You see how that's different. So what you want to do is have them make sure they're straight up and down and level. Okay, so I'm not picking on just the Nike shoes. Every brand is. We just have to be in the Nike section here. So find what brands, what shoe we like, and then first check the structures. Does it look like it's built well? Okay, and then there's an inherent structures as well. So what happens is when you get a nice running shoe that you like, the pattern on the bottom of the shoes are different for each shoe as well. So you want to make sure that this is where your foot bends. That foot bends where your toe box is. Your toe box is the balls of your feet, and that's where your toes bend. You want to make sure that this and this bends where your foot bends. Because if your toes bend here, you're not going to, so you're going to put more stress on either your midfoot or your toes when you're running. Okay? So here, if your toes bend here and the shoe doesn't bend there, it's going to force extra stress on your foot where it's not supposed to be. Okay, as a runner. Next thing you want to do is make sure that it moves well. So you take it and you torque the shoe. Does it move well in and out? This shoe actually does. There's no real compared difference turning it in and turning out when you do the shoe. Okay, so now the next thing you want to do is make sure that it flows from toe to heel like it's supposed to. So I'm going to show you an example. So your shoes, you want to put on the ground, okay? When you put them on the ground, you want to tilt the shoes from toe to heel. So what should happen is just like this. You can see the shoe just comes, can you come over top? You want to go over top. That doesn't show right over top. Okay? That's the angle. It should not tilt, and you tilt like this, okay? This is a shoe that tilts a little bit, okay? So I want to see these shoes, and we take these shoes and we take it, and that one tilts a lot. You want to see how that does that? Look how it does. As soon as it's a flat surface, and the shoe will tilt. This one doesn't. This is what you want. You want to find what shoes you like. You want to take the left shoe out of this box and find another right shoe that goes straight up and down flat and does not tilt like that. You can see how this one tilts over out to the side. So if you are buying shoes and that shoe inherently tilts on the side, you can step on a rock or a crack and you could really sprain your ankle, hurt yourself. So the shoes are doing that for you. So to make sure your shoes are stable. Okay, so now I have an example with us here about how the shoe should fit and if it's actually a good fit for you. So if you've gone through all these tests and it passes all, then you do the final test. So I have a cross country and star track star with us here. His name's Aaron. Easy name to remember. Okay, so Aaron found a pair of shoes that he likes. He's going to see if those shoes are good for him. Okay, so what you do, we call this the elbow flexion test. Okay, so what happens is we want to make sure within himself that this is a good balance for his body of these shoes. Okay, I want to put your elbows out like this. Good. So what I'm going to do is going to push straight down. He should, if the shoes are a good base support for him, he should stay in good balance. Okay, hold it here. I'm going to push down, and he's solid. All right, you can put these other shoes on for me. So these shoes fit him well. I want to show you what it looks like when we find a pair of shoes that he likes, that fits him well, in the right price range, right form and everything, but his body tells us it doesn't fit him well because something's off, so it throws his balance off, which will throw his running and walking, whatever he wants to do, off with it as well. Okay, so you don't have to tie, you just stick it on. So now it comes with these shoes. Okay, so everything fits well, everything's about the same. So put your elbows out like this. Now he's going to do the same thing. I'm coming close. Push down on him. Now he falls over. Can you see that? Do it again for me. And I'm not pushing him very hard and he falls over. So his body is telling me these shoes are not correct form for him. So I've had patients come in with bags of shoes, so I had to test all their shoes for them because they have had foot issues and they've had knee and ankle issues because of their shoes, if nothing else. So I hope this helps you buy the correct shoe for you. So when you go in, make sure you do these tests. And then if you have any questions, just shoot them out to me. And thank you for joining us.